Hey, I'm Leonard Sekyonda, and today I'm going to share with you 5 things that I wish I knew when I was 20 years old. Now, I recently turned 30 years old, and for some of you that have been following me for the past 10 or even 12 years since I was 18, there's a lot of lessons and experiences that I've both encountered, overcome, and things that could have changed along the way. But I want to kind of share today with you 5 things that I feel that I would have changed or could have changed leading through my journey. The first one I have to highlight is not caring. I feel like along the way, especially when we're first developing or pursuing any of our ideas, we spend so much time investing in other people caring. We spend a lot of time selling our vision and our idea to our peers, our family members, people around us. And inevitably, when we don't get the reception we want, we question whether or not we should still pursue or become who we're becoming. So I definitely feel like the ability to not care about what other people think had somewhat of an effect. But I also feel like that element of not caring also plays out when it goes down to things such as what people think of you. When I first started my YouTube channel, as much as it got a lot of attention and success, I also got the hate and I got the comments that don't kind of make you feel good about what you're doing or kind of make you question whether or not those comments are correct. So I feel like in my 20s, one of the things that I would advise you, if you are in your 20s, is to not care, to follow through, to push forward, and to stop looking for both reassurance or assurance from people that are not you, that don't know who you are, what you're capable of, and more importantly, what you're possibly able to pursue if you follow through. The second point I would change about my journey, or wouldn't say change, but I would change about the way I perceive certain things is number 2 would be CEO syndrome. Now I want to say that again, CEO syndrome. For any of you that have businesses, starting businesses, or thinking about having a business, it is a virus that we have to take full consideration into as we propel in our experience, and we tend to kind of adapt in our growth. And I think CEO syndrome kicks in when you start to invest time in that CEO ego. A lot of money can end up being spent on excess office space, which you don't really need, excess staff, which are there more for the look, and more importantly, just kind of basing a lot of your investments on image. And I feel like, you don't need that. You need to, especially in this kind of environment, you need to be agile with both what you require as well as what you need. And I think CEO syndrome has definitely been something which could have been binned a long time ago, but I would inevitably say to anybody that is in the stage of seeing a little bit of success, not to get caught up in that ego and start spending money frivolously on things you don't really need just because you want them to look like things are either doing better or just feel good about doing them because you're paying for it. So yeah, definitely say that for number 2. Number 3 would be relentlessly not giving myself the ability to feel guilty about investing in myself. I think so many times when it comes to us investing in ourselves, we question it. Should I spend this flight ticket to this country? Should I buy this course? Should I invest in this book, or whatever knowledge or camera equipment or fee is going to be required for me to propel? And I think, as long distance as it may seem at the time when you're putting money into something which you feel is going to be an investment for you in a later point, I think that inevitably with time, as well as with the commitment, it pays off. And if I had myself to tell myself, hey, what you're doing right now, that camera you're buying right now is going to pay off, or that equipment or that course or that book or that time you're taking is going to pay off, I think I'd cut myself a bit more slack on those decisions. So I definitely would remove that as a guilty purchase and more as an investment for the long term. And I think that's something that you should adopt. The 4th thing that I would change in my 20s is constantly remembering to keep it simple. Don't complicate things. If you're doing what you're doing, it might be slow. It might take a while to get into fruition, but believe in that and keep it simple. The fifth and the final thing that I would change about my 20s would definitely be, for my end, believing more. You know, so many of us, we know what we're capable of. And so many of us, we know that we have this calling and this urge. And along the way, especially as time goes on, we shift and mold that person or that thing to appeal to the critics or to appeal to people that we feel are important in our lives. And yes, it may seem similar to the first point, but it's more about us believing. And I think what I found along the way is that my belief in myself deteriorated and sometimes was invested more in the opinions of others. And to believe is to be in control of how you feel about yourself. So I feel like in my 20s, I wish that I continued to believe in myself throughout the experience so that I never allowed the idea of what people think is in fashion or what they think is cool or right or wrong for me and investigate and burn time trying to kind of fit these boxes, which really I should just ignore and stay on my path. These are 5 things that I would change in my 20s, and I honestly feel like you can adapt these principles to your journey, and if you're in your 20s, make the most of it. Don't hold back, be relentless, be fearless, keep it simple, and don't look for the approval of others. You got this. I'm Leonard Sekyonda. Watch out for my latest and next video coming to you every week. And more importantly, make sure you subscribe, comment the other things that you want to know or learn from me, and I'll be more than happy to respond to them in the next videos. See you on the other side.